Hello, guys, and welcome to a new episode of The Soy Up Show. I hope y'all are doing well. Well, I haven't planned to do such a video because I didn't think that people, or girls specifically, need to be reminded about such a thing in 2025. But apparently we do, so we should be reminded to be independent and never let ourselves under a man's financial control. I said before that a man's love language is providing, and I still stand by my opinion until the day I die. But this doesn't necessarily mean that if you have a boyfriend, a fiance, a husband, you immediately quit your job and only depend on him. Again, not because he is not supposed to provide for you, but for your dignity, your safety, and your emotional stability. Never ever stay home and quit your dreams just because you start getting money from a man. Because trust me, it is just a matter of time that this money will be a weapon against you, and those gifts will turn into your grave, and those vacations will be your nightmare. You will hate the smells, the sounds, and the stories that remind you of a place you've been in with that man. And this is just if you stayed alive. Yeah, it is that bad. You might think that I am exaggerating, but trust me, girlie, after this episode you will run with no shoe to start a new life where you can be independent from any man's control. And to understand a 21st century problem, we gotta go back to the 19th century. And believe me, it is so deep. It is that deep, and the story behind it is really crazy. So imagine in San Francisco in the early 19th century, streets quiet except for the clatter of horse hooves, and the city humming with wealth and secrets. In the city of shadows and glitter, a story began that would change the way people talk about love, power, and money. Alma de Bretteville, we're gonna refer to her as Alma because her family name is really complicated. Anyway, she was no ordinary young woman. She was tall, 6 feet, and smart, working hard in her family's small laundry bakery business. Her life was simple, but Alma dreamed of something bigger. At night, she studied art, painted miniatures, and even posed for artists. People began to notice her not just for her height, but for her presence, her energy, her charm. She earned her the nickname Big Alma because she had a big presence. Before she met her fortune, Alma had a taste of betrayal. A wealthy man called Charles Anderson had promised to marry her, but only gave her gifts and empty words. So she was in a relation with a wealthy man and she wanted to get married, but he was always just showering her with gifts, promising her and never marrying her. Alma sued him in a court and won, which is a rare chance for a woman at that time to win a case against a wealthy man. Suddenly, everyone knew her name because she had courage, brain, the kind of aura that makes people remember her. And after that case, she was on everybody's mouth. Then came Adolph Spreckels, who was older, richer, and part of the Spreckels family, which controlled much of California's sugar business. Some say that he first noticed Alma because she inspired a sculpture of the angel on top of the Dewey Mountain in the Union Square, and the others say it was through a family connections. Whatever it was, the moment they met, the sparks flew between Adolph and Alma. Alma saw more than a rich man in Adolph. She saw a doorway to a social kingdom. And Adolph was known that time by the Sugar King, and for all the right reasons. At a young age, he took over his family's small business in sugar and blew everything because of his intelligence, wisdom, and sharp look in the future. To the point that he took control over the sugar plantations, refineries, and trade across California and beyond. In a few years, he was able to make $100 million. And at that time, the average American was making $1,500. I mean, this is crazy. If you want to put it in today's terms, it's over $1.5 billion. And today, it's so easy to be a billionaire because of the tech and the different industries we can get in. But at that time, to be a billionaire with $1.5 billion, it means a lot. It's just something on the other level of wealth. So think about that for a second, how crazy his lifestyle was compared to everybody around him. I mean, people were making $1,500 per year. He was making $100 million per year. He lived in the Sparkles Mansion, one of the largest and most luxurious private residences in San Francisco. It was built on the Washington Street with a panoramic view on the city. It was designed by top architects. The rooms were enormous, draped in fine tapestries, jeweled mirrors, and sparkling chandeliers. The furniture was imported from France. Every time he hosts a party, the manager and the butlers of the elite families lose their control, as those elite families will use every single relation they built for the last decades to make it into those parties. I mean, if they hear that their 20th neighbor from 17 years ago can help them, they would add him to their will just to get an invitation to Adolphe's house. It was another dimension of Hunger Games. I mean, without hungry people being killed for money, but guests were arriving in carriages and later luxury automobiles in the early days of cars, dressed in jewelries and gowns that would cost a small fortune today. The tables were ground under the weight of food, roasted meat, fresh seafood, imported fruits, and dessert layered with the sugar from his own empire. Champagne flowed freely, and the music was a live orchestra filling all the room. Every detail screamed power and sophistication. But all of this didn't matter, as for rich families, it was a sort of the last chance to climb the Diamond Pyramid and get a 5-second conversation with Adolphe. Maybe, just maybe, their humble business can be in his potential investment list. But despite all of this power, he got captivated by Alma's tall, strong presence and fearless personality. She was that special. He started showering her with gifts and attention, furs, jewelries, mansions. He gave her almost anything she wanted, and she called him her sugar daddy, based on his background with the sugar business. And their story became the first of its kind. They dated for 5 years, and in 1908 they got married, and Alma became one of San Francisco's most famous socialites. But even in an empire of sugar and jeweled salons, jealousy and betrayal can rise like bitter crystals in a sugar vat. Their son Adolphe Jr. had begun questioning Alma's control over their family fortune, that he filed a lawsuit against her to claim a $19 million estate. And inside the mansion, the tension was palpable. Servants tiptoed around whispered arguments, and the halls that once echoed with fake laughers, they now carry hush-hush secrets. Alma's personal life was the main topic in each gossip session. Some said that she had become too powerful, too independent, and others even hinted at secret romances and betrayals hidden behind the mansion's ornate doors. In 1939, and out of the blue, rumors started circulating that she secretly married a cowboy named Elmer O., a man far from her high society. I mean, a poor cowboy. But despite all that, she kept her smile on, didn't think of explaining herself, or even saying, "Shut the fuck up, you stupid little bitches. I haven't cheated on my husband. I don't have another family with a cowboy on the side. I didn't steal my husband's estates. I'm not behind each decision he makes." But she kept it all in her heart. And in 1941, they finally got divorced, Alma and Adolphe. And the first response was as the non-usual from her part. It is so weird. She said that it was due to uncouth manners and habits of intoxication. But the reality, after a long time, that we discovered was really worse. Her own husband cheated on her with her own niece. The story itself of Alma and Adolphe and the sugar daddy empire doesn't end tragically, as Alma used her wealth after the divorce wisely by changing the city of San Francisco exponentially. She donated her masterpieces, funded museums, and carved a public image so magnificent that even the whispers of scandal could not erase her legend. But we're not here to discuss the last years of her life. We are here because of the change she made to the way people talk about love, power, and money at the same time, and the fascinating sugar daddy empire she made. During all of the years faking her happiness in a destroyed marriage with a toxic husband, promoting to younger girls around the area the idea of marrying rich men to escape poverty and save their lives. Yes, Exactly. In the 21st century, girlies are dropping from colleges, ending their own careers, and sacrificing their own independence based on a well-crafted and sugar-coated fake love story in the early 19th century of a woman called Alma and a man called Adolphe from San Francisco. Did it clock to you? Do you get it now? Did that wake you up? Why are you still thinking like women used to think 2 centuries ago? Didn't we get enough from men to the point where we hated them? Didn't we promise ourselves to fight with our brains and our own hard work to reach our goals? Why are we throwing all of this away for a temporary easy money? It is only easy from the surface, believe me. The deeper you dig into the sugar babies' lives, the clearer it seems to you that they are paying for each cent of that Birkin with their own dignity and self-respect. And believe me, this is not normal. I hate it when women justify other women's objectifying themselves for some money. It is firstly a short-term investment. Your body won't be beautiful for them, for those men forever. And even if it will, those old guys get bored so easily, so fast. They will use it as their sex toy or your source for a week, a month, let's say a year. The moment they get bored of you, you're done. Was it actually all worth it? I don't think so. And I'm noticing that women are normalizing this in a really alarming and disturbing way, under the excuse of men must pay for using your body and their joy. This might seem as a quote from a non-educated cowboy in the southern isolated desert that has no atom of respect or appreciation to women but no honey. This is exactly what the wizard Liz said in the Oxford Union debate on June 19th, 2025. It is that recent from a feminist icon, and she's saying that bullshit. I'm gonna cry. And just to clear the image for you about the Oxford Union, it is one of the most prestigious debating societies and has a long history of hosting intellectually rigorous and often provocative debates. On June 19th, on that Thursday night, they held the final debate of the academic year. Under the title, "This House believes that the commodification of women's bodies has gone too far." And as any debate, we have two sides, the proposition and the opposition side. And on each side, we have three confident girlies coming to the Oxford Union, armed with arguments, research, and real-life experiences to support their own beliefs. So for the proposition side, we start with the Union chief, Dr. Amina Balalam, who opened the debate and claimed that nowadays women's bodies are treated as goods to be bought and sold. For her, surrogacy, sex work, and plastic surgeries are clear examples where commercialization can exploit women. So it is not liberation but an exploitation dressed in the language of choice. Moving to the next girlie on the proposition side, we have Cameron Russell, that emphasizes that treating anybody as a profit source is inherently exploitative, and she rejected this modern definition of liberty. And lastly, we have the lifestyle and fitness influencer Leanne Deeb, who argued that this motion is not an attack on women but a challenge to the word we inherited, a word which tells women their value lies in how they look, not how they are inside. And now we move to the opposition side with Maya Kapila arguing that the commodification is not inherently exploitative, and that platforms like OnlyFans represent a moment where women can have the full control over their own bodies, profiting from their labor and choices, which is so stupid. I'm not here to argue with each girlie and show her how superficial these arguments and this thought are, but let's just be honest here, because I cannot superpass this and pretend that I didn't say anything. Yeah, you are benefiting from OnlyFans, and yeah, you are practicing your freedom of using your own body in the way you want, but hypocritically, you are forgetting that any sexual content, whether paid or not, is the main reason behind the sexual crimes on women, especially in the third world countries where people are not liberally open about their sexuality and sexual practices, so they pour all of their horny souls toward victims that cannot defend themselves. We are talking here about scared women and silenced children. as the content you provide for them doesn't go beyond the screen, and to bury their flame they need something physical, which you cannot provide, but their victims do. So please stop this hypocrisy and let's start really focusing on the real victims of today modern women's body exploitation. Anyways, I went too far with that, but it is so sad to see women promoting victimizing fellow women. Okay, let's move now to the second girlie of the opposition side. We have Dana Thomas, that shared her personal experience as a teenage model and that her career allowed her to fund her education, and that beauty in the capitalist society can be a tool for opportunity rather than oppression, which I have no problem with. I stand by her side. There is no shame of using your beauty in modeling, and I stand by her argument 100%, because as long as you are comfortable with which part of your body you want to share to the public to represent the dress or the item and its artistic dimensions, go for it, girly. Your body, your choice. You are harming nobody. But I'm not here to debate about women's body and freedom, as by reading their arguments I'm not represented by any side. They are extremely too right or too far for me. I personally believe that women have the right to wear, say, and do whatever they want with their own body, hair, and nails. Nobody has the say or the right to tell them what to do. But at the same time, I'm totally against women objectifying themselves to gain money under the belief that men are finally paying for their satisfaction, which is the whole main idea of the third goalie on the opposition side, the Wizard Liz. Oh my god, this was one of the first times where girls really opened their eyes towards a red flag in her beliefs. Her quotes in the Oxford debate fueled a lot of buried fires in some of her fans' hearts. And to explain it more, I'm gonna go through each red flags of that debate and really try to understand where is she trying to go with those arguments. Where is she standing? She started with a strong point, speaking from the bottom of her heart about her childhood experience of commodification, reflecting that the first man to sexualize, lies, and objectify her was her father. And this is so horrific and terrible. I mean, her dad was very violent and abusive against her, her sibling, her mom, and this whole trauma will be the real explanation of her actions and claims in this debate, and in her life in general. Yeah. And then she went and added that men and women are afraid of true female power, and that the one thing men love more than objectifying women is making money, and women are making millions from men's lust, and that we are walking toward a female-dominated society because of this. Money is power. People will listen to women with a lot of money because, unfortunately, that's what the capitalist society cares about. She concluded by remarking that we do need feminism and we do need men, but she doesn't believe that men are meant to lead. Instead, they are meant to protect women from other men, and women are meant to lead. Women are and will continue to reclaim their power. We will no longer be told what to do, what to wear, and how to act. Oh my god, reading those lines, I felt like I am losing a lot of brain cells. It is honestly, for me, a total bullshit. I'm sorry, Liz, girly, but what you're just saying is the exact example of toxic feminism. I sometimes find myself leaning toward it because I hate men. I really hate men, and I believe that they are useless in my life and I can live 1,000 times better without them. But I still believe in the deepest of my heart that good men still exist, and I just need to keep digging. But all this doesn't matter because for Liz, as a toxic feminism, she hates men blindly and doesn't believe that they deserve to exist, lead, or even live, which might let you think that the last thing she wants to deal with in her life is men. But no, you got her wrong, girly. She is living the life of toxic feminists and trade wife all at the same time. And let me take you back in the time. Look, I'm not here shaming her. I'm just trying to let all the girlies that dream about marrying a bank to solve their problems that they are signing a deal with the devil. And it's exactly what the Wizard Liz aims her fans to understand by sharing her story. So when she was 19 years old, she became a sugar baby. Her rich boyfriend flew her to Dubai and showered her with money and luxurious gifts. As much as she hated men from her traumatic experience with her father during her childhood, she was also thirsty for money at the same time. as she lived in poverty for all of her life. Her mom had to work for 3 shifts just to provide for her children their minimal needs. She started chasing the money and loved it, so she took the easiest path for her, which is objectifying herself, using men, and taking that cash back. Again, I'm not shaming her. Sometimes hard work seems for some girlies as a really long path to achieve their dreams, as they lean toward the easiest solution, which is using men for money and men using them too. It is a vice versa relation. During her relation with her ex, Liz started her YouTube journey, and she blew up so fast and suddenly started making more money than her sugar daddy. She said that he was making $10,000 per month and she was making $50,000, $20,000, and $70,000. And all of that created a toxic comparison cycle between them, as he was getting into serious financial problems because of her crazy spendings. And I'm not even exaggerating. She said that herself. She said that any ex of her was struggling financially just before they broke up. And after that, she felt that the best thing to do was to leave him and break up with him. But hey, wake up, girly. Do you think that a man that lost all of his money on you and got into a desperate state is gonna let you go peacefully and tell you, yeah, I had fun with you, don't forget to close the door behind you? No. No, girly. They are gonna abuse you, drink your last drops of blood, and blame you on every bad thing that happened in their life. Liz herself that it was so horrific for her to leave him, and she thought that she was gonna be killed by him, and her escaping him was a miracle that might not happen to any other girly. And yeah, for sure, it doesn't happen on a normal basis. I'm being dead serious. But all of this horrific experience didn't teach her anything. She didn't take that lesson, as she took the next chance to get into a relation with a man just for their money. And I'm talking here about London. In her latest video, she said that he told her to send him her bank account information to prove to her that he can do it all for her. And Liz, on the other side, did so, and he sent her $10,000. She was so happy about it because she finally found the man that doesn't talk bullshit but acts accordingly. But even after love bombing her, London at the end cheated on her and she was the one exposing him. But there are many circulating photos of them on vacations after their breakup. I'm not gonna dive deep into this, as she swears that she is done with all this bullshit and that she is now focusing on her mental wellness and the upcoming chapter of her life as a mom. So I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt and stop here. I'm not gonna argue with her for her life choices. She is an adult and she can take care of her own life, and what do I know about her and about her life decisions? I know nothing. My main purpose of this whole episode is to talk with the young girlies that have just started their lives, just got into college, still filled with dreams and hopes, and got slapped on the face with the real bitter truth of adulthood, that you actually have to work hard, pull all-nighters, work for extra shifts, and invest in your education and your well-being. I mean, I'm not against big dreams or high hopes of becoming extremely wealthy and buying all what you want, traveling whatever you want, and booking the restaurants you dream of. It is possible. It is very possible. Since many did it before you, you can do it too. But as long as you were not born with a silver spoon in your mouth, don't expect your way to the success to be easy. Don't expect it to be with a finger snap. Don't ever dream of miracles or people shortening your way. No man, no sugar daddy will make it easier for you. Work hard and make it yourself. And don't let any man behind you say, you see that Birkin? I bought it for her. Did you see her vacation to the Maldives last week? I paid for it. Do you see this beautiful dress she's wearing now? I bought it too. Even her underwear. It is from my own money. Do you want to be in this situation? Be honest. Do you really want to drop all of the potential you have in your early 20s to be a man's doll? Do you really want that? Men are dirty. When it comes to women, they don't think beyond their pants, especially if they are wealthy and you are in the powerless situation with no support system, no academic certificates, and even no personality. You will be erased. You will be a skin without a soul. And that what men like the most. They will let you pay every cent of that Birkin with your own soul, your own body, your own dignity, and your own self-respect. And at the end, when there will be nothing left of your broken and burned soul, they will leave you, replace you with a much younger and more energetic version. Let's say this doesn't happen. For some reason, they get obsessed over you and you get bored of it all. Or you wake up and suddenly your brain starts working. Why am I giving myself away? Why do I feel guilty? Is it actually worth it? All of these questions that lead you finally to the conclusion that you must run away. No Chanel bag is worth it. No luxurious resort is worth it. Run away. Run away, girlie. But you start from that point reflecting on each minute of the time you spend with that all disgusting man. You have no degree, you have no plan, you have no source of income. How can you do it? How can you survive in this economy? Where is this path leading you? And let's assume you were brave enough to throw yourself to the unknown just to gain yourself and your dignity back. Do you think that that powerful rich man will let you go? Yes, he can afford to buy another sugar baby, but you didn't make his money worth it first. He did not see you struggling to leave. He doesn't see you pale and drowning in your life decision and regret. He doesn't see you destroyed. So no, honey, you are still usable and you still didn't pay for your yacht trip. You will be abused, stalked, and blackmailed until life loses its colors. Your smile fades away and you will be eaten alive. Do you think that college is that hard to go through? Just be realistic. Do you think that pleasing a 70-year-old day and night in an isolated island is easier than studying for your upcoming test and working on enhancing your resume? Do you really think that being emotionally and physically abused by a wrinkled-faced man at the same age as your grandparents is a shorter path to success and to your dream life? I mean, what dream life you're talking about? If there is anyone happy in that relation, it's gonna be the all-disgusting man at the end of his life, or even a person at the same age as you. They change young, beautiful women like they're stock spares. I mean, wake up and work hard on yourself. The only healthy way to marry a rich man is to be rich yourself. And if you were not born rich, then work hard for that, because no man on this planet Earth will respect a desperate woman that only depends on him. The power he feels and the superiority you will let him gain will turn your life into hell. I mean, I'm not against the idea of marrying a rich man. Go and do it, girly. But before that, be mature, aware, and well educated. Get a degree, invest in yourself, and give for yourself the right soul to plant the seed of financial independence, either now before marriage or during marriage, or even if you decide to stay home. At least if anything happens, you have a plan B. You can support yourself, you can find a job, and you can decide to leave a relation when things get better with your full self-respect and dignity. Yeah, this was it. This was today's episode. It was really an advice from the bottom of the heart of a girl that works hard like you, get through life on her own without any financial supporter on her back, and has really big dreams that no man and no sugar daddy can do that for her. So thank you for listening, watching, or streaming today's episode. Stay safe, girlies. Work hard. Love you. Goodbye.